When you live in the light, you assume the whole world is just as bright.
Must you always look at such filthy and dark things?
Do you think I want to see them? Do you think I have a choice? For many, youth is not a grand carnival, but a silent scream where no matter how hard you cry out, no sound comes out. A long, damp period of drowning. This isn't a story about romance, it's about a lowly life and the reality of struggling for survival with every ounce of strength in the mire of despair. Today I will risk suffocation to dive into that river of sadness, all the way to the bottom, a deep dive into the film that shattered the hearts of many and allowed those living in fear to see their own reflections on screen for the first time. Cry Me a Sad River. The story is set in the damp old alleys of Shanghai. Far from skyscrapers and neon lights, there are only mottled peeling walls, cobweb-like tangled wires and laundry that never seems to dry. With a shaky lens, we are transported to the city's most oppressive corner, where the youth of our protagonist Yi Yao begins. She is an ordinary high school girl, yet she carries the burden of a family that brings her nothing but shame in the neighborhood. Her father left and remarried when she was young, leaving her and her mother Lin Fenghua to depend on each other. This bond is no warm sanctuary. Instead, it is rife with sharp conflict and pain. To make ends meet, her mother works as a massage therapist at home. The crushing weight of life leads her to vent all her bitterness toward her ex-husband onto Yi Yao. It is as if her daughter's very existence is the ultimate proof of her failed life. The atmospheric world building at the start of the film isn't just a backdrop, it is a narrative in itself. In this alley, where laundry never dries, it serves as a metaphor for Yi Yao's inescapably damp and heavy youth. Yet tragedy often stems from a neglected and seemingly insignificant detail. A greasy middle-aged man came for a massage, and after they failed to agree on a price, he asked to take a shower in their home, to earn a bit extra and to save herself some trouble. Her mother Lin Fenghua casually handed him a towel. After he finished, the towel was carelessly hung back in its original spot, without being properly cleaned or disinfected. For Yi Yao, this catastrophic nightmare began right here, quietly and unexpectedly descending upon her. One morning, she suddenly felt a sensation from her body, an unbearable sharp pain that filled her heart with dread. Instinctively, she wanted to reach out to her mother for help, but she was impatiently brushed off by her mother, who was busy on the phone. Yi Yao was left to endure this unknown panic all by herself. She rushed to the library and typed her symptoms into the computer. When those shocking, stark words flashed across the screen, she was seized with fear. A 17-year-old girl who had never even had a boyfriend. How could she have contracted such a disease? So she went to the hospital alone in secret. The cold medical instruments and the doctor's cold, scrutinizing gaze made her feel a suffocating sense of humiliation. Diagnosis was brutal, the doctor told her. That treatment would be expensive, 500 yuan for a single laser session, not including the cost of topical medications, for a family that couldn't even afford a new school uniform. This was undoubtedly an astronomical sum. When Yi Yao learned of her diagnosis, her first thought wasn't how to treat it, but a sense of endless shame and fear. She was terrified of anyone finding out, afraid of the judgmental labels that would be hurled at her like heavy stones. Social stigmatization made the psychological burden of the disease far outweigh its physical harm. Desperate, she ran out of the hospital, wanting to confess everything to her mother. "I'm not feeling very well."
"You're just trying to trick me into giving you money for medicine, aren't you?"
Amidst her mother's biting sarcasm, she swallowed all her words and tears, burying them deep inside. This moment serves as the tragic catalyst for the entire film. An unsterilized towel represents more than just a lack of basic hygiene. It reflects the cruel reality of life, at the bottom where survival leaves no room for such details. Yi Yao's plight magnifies the issue of social stigmatization surrounding the disease. When a disease is viewed through a moral lens, the psychological toll on the patient becomes truly devastating. Yet Yi Yao's bleak life is not entirely devoid of light. Qiming, the boy next door, has been her childhood companion, and the only source of light in her youth. Qiming and Yi Yao exist in two completely different worlds. He's the quintessential golden boy, the school heartthrob class president, and a top student. More importantly, he comes from a happy, well-to-do family. When Qiming gave her a bouquet of flowers, she stared at them, lost in thought. These flowers are so beautiful, but they'll probably wither in just a couple of days. This isn't just a prophecy about the flowers. It's a dark omen of her own lowly existence. Qiming cares for her, yet their worlds are separated by an insurmountable chasm. When Yi Yao finally starts fighting back against the relentless bullying, Qiming's first instinct is to judge her for becoming crude.
Did you really have to look at the flowers? thoughts. Dirty and dark things.
Do you think I want to see them? Is this what I chose? Ye Yao's retort is one of the most heart-wrenching and iconic lines in the film. It perfectly encapsulates the vast cognitive divide between two social classes and two very different lives. Cacti aren't flowers, they aren't meant to be held in the palm of your hand. Qi Ming is a greenhouse flower. He can never understand the wild cactus, nor the pain and helplessness of having to grow spikes just to survive. As the most controversial character in the story, I believe he reveals a more complex issue. Blind spot of kindness Qi Ming lives in the light. His world is sterile, pristine, and full of goodwill. He gives Yi Yao milk tutor's hair, and even steals money to give to her. This was the extent of his kindness. But there is a fatal flaw in this kind of kindness. He's like someone on the shore tossing a lifebuoy to a drowning person, but he never thought to dive in and experience that coldness and despair himself. He isn't a bad person, he's just a good person who has been protected too well. The turning point of the story comes with the arrival of a transfer student, Tang Xiaomi. Tang Xiaomi is beautiful, seemingly sweet and harmless. But deep down she harbors a darkness twisted by her past.